to the Mount Vernon Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, Fisher Overstreet. We had a great week of sports, and it's going to be hard to cover it all in 15 minutes. That's why you're going to see some NBA standings and some NHL standings on the screen throughout the broadcast. So pay attention to those as well. They might be more interesting than just watching my face the whole time. Got Daniel Ferguson on the show later, talk some baseball. They announced the 2016 Hall of Fame class. Only 2 players made the cut this year. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Jump right into NFL, though. I love J.J. Watt, best player on and off the field in the league. He's going to have a tough time against the Chiefs this week. And I got the Chiefs over the Texans this week in that playoff round 1 matchup. And the Chiefs, they started off with a win. Then they lost to the Broncos in week 2. They choked. And they lost 4 more, so they started off 1-5, but they've won 10 in a row. So a really streaky team. They're 11-5, and they could do some damage in the playoffs. So watch out for the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Dalton is probable to play this weekend against the Steelers. That's a good rivalry. The division's been tough for the longest time. Bengals and Steelers both seem to be in it every year. So I love watching these two play, but the Bengals have lost 4 playoff matchups in a row. They've won and done 4 straight years. On the flip side, Ben Roethlisberger is 10-5 in career playoff games, so he knows how to come in the clutch. But we'll get to more of the playoff records in a couple minutes. We'll have some more debates on that. On the NFC side, the Vikings have a very bright future. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be a top 5 quarterback. Adrian Peterson, he's already maybe the best running back in the NFL. That defense is getting a lot better. Just the team in general is on the rise, but I don't think they'll be good enough this week to beat the Seahawks. You guys know Seattle. You know how they turn up in the playoffs. They got beat by the Patriots last year in the Super Bowl, but they got to the Super Bowl. They know how to win games. Pete Carroll was a bonehead last year in the Super Bowl, but I still think he's one of the better coaches in the league. So Seattle could go all the way this year, and I have them in the first-round matchup against the Vikings. Got the Packers in the last matchup of the weekend. Packers and Redskins. Kirk Cousins, I don't know what to say about him. Had him on my fantasy team. He had a pretty good year. In fact, he set the Redskins single-season passing yards record. Is he still a top 10 quarterback? I don't think so. Is he a top 15 quarterback? I don't even think he's top 15. It's hard to win playoff games with just a decent quarterback. We'll get to that in a couple minutes, too. Let's go to some interesting win-loss NFL playoff records. Everyone's talking about Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. That's all you hear anymore in NFL. Who's better, Brady or Manning? And you can say both these guys are on the decline. There's not many Brady versus Manning matchups left, if any at all. Obviously, Manning, probably the best regular season quarterback of all time. But does regular season really matter that much? What do you play the regular season for? What? I mean, if I went into the NFL and I won every regular season game I ever played in, my rookie year, went 16-0, averaged 500 passing yards a game, averaged 5 passing touchdowns. Then I go to the playoffs, and I can't put any points up on the board. What if I do that for 15 years in a row? Am I a good quarterback? Should I be a top 5 quarterback? Peyton Manning, a losing record in the playoffs, 11-13. You can't tell me, you cannot tell me that the greatest quarterback of all time is allowed to have a losing record in the games that matter. Put all the regular season games aside. He doesn't win when it matters. Tom Brady, 21-8, 72% winning percentage in the playoffs. Peyton Manning, 11-13, 46% winning percentage. You look at all the other greats. Joe Montana, 16-7, Bradshaw 14-5. Elway 14-7. Favre 13-11. Aikman 11-4. Staubach 11-6. Bart Starr 9-1. Throw Kurt Warner in the mix, 9-4. Then, like I said, Roethlisberger and Flacco, 10-5. Eli Manning, I don't think Eli Manning's a better quarterback than Peyton. But Eli Manning, 8-3 in the playoffs. And a lot of people make excuses for Peyton. All those, well, hasn't had a great team. Bull crap. Look when he was back on the Colts. You have Jeff Saturday at the center. Dallas Clark at tight end. And receivers, you got Harrison and Wayne. Those four could make it to the Hall of Fame along with Manning. So those are 5 Hall of Famers on the same offense. Half your offense is Hall of Fame caliber. And you can only win 1 Super Bowl with those guys? No. Look at the Broncos now. They're not a great team, I don't think. They don't have the offensive line they used to have. They don't have Wes Welker. They don't have a real strong tight end like they did with Julius Thomas last year. Sanders, Demaryius Thomas, they're good receivers, but this is not a very good team when compared to other teams Manning's been on. But still, him and both Brock Osweiler done a solid job this year on that. I'm just trying to say, hey, if you can't win when it matters with good teams that he's had, if you can't win in the playoffs, you shouldn't be considered the greatest of all time, or even close to it. Now, if he goes out and wins the Super Bowl this year, that means he wins 3 games in the playoffs, gets to 14-13, so that's a winning record. He gets Super Bowl number 2, and he rides into the sunset. Okay, then you can maybe consider him best of all time. But until he does that, no. And like I said earlier, Trent Dilfer comes to mind. I'm talking about Kirk Cousins. It's hard to win a Super Bowl with a mediocre quarterback. Trent Dilfer was mediocre at best. And unfortunately, he's not a very good analyst either. Take a look at what he says about the Patriots. This was after their Week 4 loss last year. Of course, they go on to win the Super Bowl. So just take a look at this clip I'm about to show you of Trent Dilfer at his best on Monday Night Football.
To the bully's house, you get the stop beat out of you. We saw a weak team, the New England Patriots. Let's face it, they're not good anymore.
Awful. I'm at a loss for words. So bad. Such a bad analyst. So is Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis was a good player. A lot better than Dilfer was. He'll end up in the Hall of Fame. But Ray Lewis is not a very good analyst either. A couple of those guys aren't. But I guess everyone has their own opinions. We're going to get to Daniel in a second. But first, let's go through a little NBA. Draymond Green, I talked about him last week. 7 triple-doubles this year. It's incredible once you think about what he's been able to do. That Warriors team losing 2 games, and they had Steph Curry out a couple games, and they're still dominant. They don't have any real dominant bigs in there. They're just so athletic, great jump shooting team, and they could go down as one of the best teams in the history of NBA, which is saying a lot. Look at hockey. I'm not a hockey expert, but just the same teams year after year are in it. Look at the division leaders right now. Panthers, 25-12-4, leading the Atlantic Division. Also, obviously, the Capitals, 30-7. The Stars, 29-10-4, and then the Kings, 25-12-2. All of those 4 teams leading their own respective divisions. The Capitals, they've always been solid. Obviously, Ovechkin's one of the best players in the league. They added Oshie. They're even more offensively minded now. Got a great coaching staff, great organization. So look for them to show up in the playoffs. Hey, we're going to get Daniel Ferguson on the phone right now. He knows a lot more about baseball than I do. So listen up as we call him up. Again, make sure to subscribe and like and comment on this video when you're done with it. I really love to hear your feedback. What's going on, Daniel?
Yeah. What's going on? I'm actually driving on my way home right now.
Sounds good, man. So, what are your thoughts on the Hall of Fame elections? Do you think Piazza deserved to get in? Do you think Hoffman?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Mhm.
personally, I don't think they made a mistake in who got in. It's who didn't get in that biggest problem with me. Jim Edmonds himself falling off the ballot after a career with 8 Gold Gloves, 900 OPS.
Edmonds?
Didn't even get enough recognition to be on the ballot next year.
Yeah, well, he's not. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame worthy. He was a very good player, though.
I agree with you on that. I do think that he deserved more time than just 1 year.
Yeah. How about the closers?
I'm a little biased as a big Cardinals fan, but the dude did have a stellar career. Maybe not Hall of Fame worthy, but I believe there should have been more consideration.
I mean, he's one of the greatest gloves of all time.
He's got a He's got a play named after him, pretty much. Running backwards, dive and catch.
Yeah, I have the poster. I have a 20 by 30 poster upstairs in my room of him making those catches.
That's sick.
Fun to watch.
He had lots of big moments, though. He was big in the playoffs, at least for the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Piazza, I know he's got some PED baggage, but I'm not a huge fan of PED guys, but their numbers support Hall of Fame potential. I'd rather them not get in, but if one gets in, let the rest in.
Right. And hey, what do you think about the closers? Do you think Hoffman, especially with 600 saves, do you think they should allow him in, or is it too weak of a position?
Relief pitching was more of a specialty, and he'll get in eventually. He did have the record over 600 at one point. He'll get in. It's 69% of the vote. Yeah. But Billy Wagner, even though he's going to be on next year, he had comparable numbers, just not as many saves. He didn't have the longevity that Hoffman had.
And also,
but it doesn't look like he'll ever get in. He didn't get enough support this year. It'll be tough for him to build up to 75%, you know.
And obviously Rivera.
It's not next year, the year after that.
Obviously Rivera will get in.
Yeah, they're both all-time great.
Right.
Especially Mo.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for letting me call in. Drive back safe.
Yeah, thanks. You have a good one.
Yeah, you too, man. Also, a couple other former Cardinals. David Eckstein, Margaret Solonic, and Troy Gloss, all on the ballot. Didn't get any votes. I thought Eckstein might have been able to snag a few, but I don't think he's Hall of Fame worthy. He's my favorite player of all time. But Hall of Fame worthy, I don't think so. So anyway, thanks for tuning in this week. I don't have any 3 stars. But again, please subscribe, and I got a lot of good stuff next week. I will have some debates on next week. I'm going to get some of my friends that I just don't agree with on sports too much. So please tune in next week, and we're going to have some good debates, good heated debates, and we'll see you next week.